The smell of grilled burgers and laughter filled the small roadside diner on a chilly Sunday afternoon. Outside, the wind carried a soft hum of motorcycle engines. A group of rough-looking bikers had just pulled in, their leather jackets and tattoos catching every curious eye in the room. People went silent as the door creaked open. The bikers walked in, heavy boots echoing against the tiled floor, and the cheerful noise of the diner instantly faded. At a corner table sat a boy, around 12 years old, skinny with ruffled blonde hair, wearing a worn-out hoodie too big for him. His name was Ethan. He wasn't there to eat, not really. He sat quietly with a small cup of water, staring at the menu like someone memorizing what hunger looks like. The waitress, Linda, noticed him. She'd seen him before, always alone, always asking for the cheapest thing on the menu. But today, she couldn't help but feel something was different in his eyes, a quiet sadness, like he was fighting tears. The leader of the biker group, a tall man with a rugged beard and a scar across his cheek, noticed the boy too. His name was Jack, president of the Steel Guardians, a motorcycle club often judged by their looks but known for their loyalty and compassion among those who truly knew them. Jack leaned over to Linda. "Hey, sweetheart," he said softly, surprising her with his calm voice. "Get the kid whatever he wants. On us." Linda hesitated, glancing between Jack and Ethan. "You sure? He usually just gets fries." Jack smiled. "Then today, he gets a meal." She nodded and walked over. "Hey, honey," she said to Ethan, "you want a burger? Maybe a soda too?" Ethan looked up, startled. I don't have money, ma'am." Linda smiled gently. "It's already paid for." Ethan's lips parted, disbelief flickering in his eyes. "Paid for? By who?" Before Linda could answer, Jack spoke from across the room, his deep voice carrying over the hum of conversations. "Eat up, kid. Everyone deserves a good meal." The boy hesitated, but his hunger won. When the food came, a double cheeseburger with fries and a cold cola, he devoured it quietly but gratefully, glancing up every few seconds like he couldn't believe this was real. When he was almost done, he carefully folded the paper wrapper, leaving half the burger untouched. Linda noticed. "You didn't like it?" she asked kindly. Ethan shook his head quickly. "No, it's really good. It's just. Can I take the leftovers for my mom?" The entire diner went still. Even the sound of forks paused. Jack, who was sipping his coffee, lowered his cup. Linda blinked. "Your mom?" Ethan nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "She hasn't eaten since yesterday. She says she's fine, but I know she's not. I thought maybe she'd like this." Jack's tough facade cracked. His eyes softened. He slowly stood up, the weight of his leather jacket creaking, and walked over to the boy. Everyone in the diner watched, holding their breath. Jack crouched down beside Ethan's table. "Hey, buddy," he said gently. "What's your mom's name?" "Sarah," Ethan replied, still clutching the wrapped burger. "She's lucky to have a kid like you," Jack said with a faint smile. "Where's your dad, son?" Ethan hesitated, eyes dropping to the table. "He left last year. Mom says he's not coming back." Jack exhaled deeply, his chest tightening. "You guys live around here?" Ethan nodded. "A few blocks down, near the old gas station. We lost our house, so now we rent a room behind the store. Mom's been looking for work but," his voice broke. "She got sick last month. I try to help, but I can't do much." Jack looked at him for a long moment. Then he turned toward his crew. "Boys," he said firmly, "we're making a stop after this." No one asked questions. They just nodded. When Ethan finished eating, Jack offered to drive him home. At first, Ethan refused, his pride whispering no, but his hope whispering yes. Jack's kind eyes won. They rode to the gas station on Jack's motorcycle, Ethan holding tightly as the wind whipped through his hair. When they arrived, the small shack behind the station came into view, a wooden door, cracked window, and a single flickering bulb. Sarah opened the door, startled to see her son climbing off a motorcycle beside a large man covered in tattoos. Fear flashed across her tired face until Ethan said, "Mom, this is Jack. He bought me lunch." Her eyes softened, embarrassment flickering in them. "Oh, you didn't have to do that," she said weakly. Jack smiled kindly. "Ma'am, it's no trouble. You raised a good boy." Sarah's eyes welled up. "He tries so hard," she whispered. "But I can't even afford proper meals lately." Jack turned to his crew, who had followed behind in a small convoy. "Bring it in, fellas." One by one, the bikers carried in grocery bags, bread, milk, canned food, fruits, medicine, and even warm blankets. Sarah covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Ethan just stood there, frozen, staring at the miracle unfolding before him. Why are you doing this?" she whispered. Jack looked at her, voice rough but sincere. "Because once, I had a mom who went hungry so I could eat. I lost her before I ever got the chance to repay her. I won't make that mistake again." Sarah broke down, sobbing quietly, thanking them over and over. The bikers didn't stay long, they didn't want to make it about them. But as they turned to leave, Ethan ran up and hugged Jack tightly. "Thank you, sir," he said, his small voice trembling. "You don't know what this means." Jack smiled, patting his head. "Take care of your mom, champ. And remember, tough guys help others, not hurt them." As the bikers rode off, the roar of their engines faded into the setting sun, leaving behind warmth in the cold air. Sarah and Ethan stood outside, holding each other, the grocery bags beside them, a small mountain of hope after months of struggle. Weeks later, the diner owner hung a photo on the wall, a snapshot of Ethan sitting between Jack and his crew, all smiling. The caption read, "Real strength isn't in how you look, it's in how you love." And that story spread like wildfire, not because of the bikers' appearance, but because of their hearts.